Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500 and welcome back to the new project BFG. That is the name for the new project. You've seen the walk around. Let's make a start on the repair, hopefully a nice quick one. So let's do it. Roll titles. Seen the walk around. Car is rotten, as you saw, so I'm going to give it a wash. The hosepipe ban ended last week, so I can actually use my jet wash, snow foam and so on at long last, and this one really needs it because everything is covered in mud where it's obviously been in a ditch of some description. We'll give it a wash, and then I think what we'll start to do, we'll do the first thing, I want to have a look at those discs. You saw the state of those brake pads. Once it's all clean, I'll get that wheel off. We'll inspect any, just to make sure there's no damage underneath. I'm pretty certain there's not, but more so to inspect those the discs and have a look to see if they need changing. If they do, I've got some. I bought some last week as it was Black Friday, and it was 25% off. So I thought I might as well take advantage of that and buy a set. So if need be, we'll change them. And obviously it's got new pads on it. If we do have to change the discs, if they haven't already been done, we need to change the pads as well. Luckily I bought some of those as well. Fingers crossed we haven't got to do that, because it would be extremely stupid if whoever did those brake pads had destroyed their discs but has not changed those discs. It would be really stupid, but let's hope the owner of this car wasn't that stupid and that they've actually done it. So let's get the Copart stickers off the number plates. I'm hoping I don't actually have to buy any number plates for this one. They all look in relatively good condition. Both of them look in relatively good condition. So we'll get the stickers off. I'll set you up in time lapse. We'll give it a good snow foam and give it a good clean, and then we'll have a quick look around it again, see if there's any damage that we haven't noticed. So back very shortly. Right, it's pretty clean now. Tripping over stuff again. Looks much better now, doesn't it? I didn't go mad on the bumper, obviously, because I won't be using that bumper, but I did give it a wipe over, although I missed a bit. But yeah, the rest of it's come up nice. I have spotted a couple of dents, shall we say. Well, they are dents, yeah, which I didn't see before. So I'll show you those. So I've just put some fallout remover on the wheels, just letting that dwell while I'm filming this, and I'll get all the crap off the windscreen, all the yellow wax pen and that off. There's still some dirty marks there. Didn't do that very well. It is only its first wash. Obviously it'll be getting a more thorough wash before it's finished, but it's just to mainly get the muck off, the in-ground muck off. Obviously we'll do that. So let me just, rather than show, how did I miss that? We've got some green stuff there. I'll have to shoot that out with the jet wash. Right, so yes, what we've noticed is we've got a dent here. If you can see it, yeah, you can see. You can just see the crown a bit there at the top. So that should pull out fairly easy. But the worst one, lucky it didn't do the windscreen. We have one here. It's cracked the paint very, very slightly there. And there is a dent there. So that, hopefully the cold glue will get that out. If it doesn't, I will have to take the paint off and get the old welding machine on there and then repaint that bit. Hopefully I won't need to do that. Hopefully either the cold glue or the hot glue will do that. It's quite deep. God knows what's done that. But as I say, it has cracked the paint there. So I will have to rub that back and put some paint over it anyway. But yeah, it will come out one way or the other. If I can just get it at an angle that you can actually see it better. Don't know if you can see it. I'm looking at it through the monitor on the camera, but you might be able to see it. As soon as this is 4K, you might be able to see it better. But yeah, I noticed it soon as I started to clean it. As I was walking around it with the light changes different, the light changes on it, I could see it. So yeah, that'll be a little job that needs to be done. But you know, there's always something. And as we know, I'll be waiting for the logbook for a while. So that's it. Apart from those little dings down the bottom on the seals, and there is a tiny one on the other side as well, actually, which I hadn't noticed. It's very little, but you know, I'll have a little play with it. In fact, I say there is there? Yeah, I reckon that's been done by a tyre change or something like that. These tyre shops that don't do it properly. It's underneath rather than at the front, so I will have a go and see if I can do that. I have seen people use a jack and then what do they use? They hold something down with the jack and then jack the car up with hot glue stuck to it, and it pulls it out underneath. So I shall look into doing that, because that's obviously where that is. It's a bit difficult to do. I can't unless I turn the car on its side. I can't really use a cold or hot glue with a puller. I think it would have to be done a different way. So I think that might be the way. I've got some chain, and I think they put some chain over it. I don't know, can't remember. Anyway, I'll have a go at it, see if I can improve it a little bit. As I say, it don't really show. I really had to put my hand underneath to feel it, but I'm still going to have a go at doing it. That side you can just about see, but hopefully I'll be able to do that. It actually looks like it might be going a little bit rusty down there as well, because it's probably taken the paint off, and it might have been like it for some time, in which case it isn't Copart that did it today when it was loaded, or rather yesterday when it was loaded. But is that another little dent there as well? I just noticed, yeah, there's another little dent there as well. So these are like parking dents, aren't they, these ones, the ones in the door, but nothing spectacular. Right, so I'm just going to blast these wheels off. As I say, they will get a better clean next time. I will get the brush in there first and just sort of loosen it up a little bit. Give those a blast to get that off, and then what I'm going to do, I think, as much as the floor is soaking wet, I'm going to jack it up and get that wheel off and have a look at these brakes. And then after we've done that, obviously we'll decide whether we need to do the brakes or not, and after that we'll get this bumper off and have a look underneath, because if I do need to order anything, obviously I need to get it ordered. So yeah, let's do it. I'll be back when we come to doing the wheel, so see you in a bit. Right. It's up in the air, wheels off. Let's have a look. Right, the most crucial thing was the disc, and you know what? The disc is actually okay. I'm not sure. I mean, we don't know when they were done, but looking at the pads, so we know they're new because we saw the box. But looking at those pads, they look absolutely brand spanking, which of course we know they are. Now the disc, I will obviously check the other side as well, but the disc doesn't look brand new, but it's actually okay, which, you know, considering the state of those pads, is quite a surprise. Maybe these are new. I mean, we don't know how long they've been in there, despite the fact that the box was on the back seat. We don't really know how long they've been on, but this doesn't look new, I have to say. There is a tiny lip, very, very tiny lip on that side, and absolutely zero on the other side. So they are, that one anyway, I mean, we haven't looked at the other side yet, but that one is absolutely spot on. Fine, absolutely fine. While I was in here, I was just having a look. It's difficult to tell with the newer, I mean, I say newer, you know, it's not a new car, but it's difficult to tell whether that's the original. It doesn't look, that bottom arm, sorry, you're probably not seeing it, that bottom arm doesn't look like the original to me. It looks too clean. I mean, it's very muddy, but I think that's where it's been in the ditch. Very muddy, it's all everywhere, so I'm going to have to clean that up. But I'll do that with the jet wash. I'll probably give it a jet wash under here just to clean it up a little bit. It's difficult to tell with a shock because there's a label on that. Is that a second-hand shock or is that the original label? Let's have a look. Let's take that off. Can we get it off? No, I think that's the original label. I think this came up on the MOT about this. I can't remember whether it was like a light misting of oil or something like that. But it's a bit difficult to tell like this. But we will have another look at it once I've cleaned it up. Obviously, as I say, you know, I bought them. They're over there. There's two over there. If I need to do them, I'll do them. But yeah, all the bushes, everything, all looks good on there. No damage for once to the arch liner, which is a miracle in itself. But yeah, all looks good. So we'll check the other side, but at present it all looks really good. No damage that I can see under it or whatsoever. I'm pleased about that, and I haven't got to do these unless the other side is gone. If the other side is no good, then it will need doing, but it seems like they're okay. Which is not, I say, a relief, it's just a job I haven't got to do, isn't it? And of course expense. That's good. Right, I am going to yeah, put the wheel back on. We'll have a look at the other side. I'll get it up in here and show you the other side as well, just so you can see what I can see. And then we'll get the bumper off. Right, this side seems to be okay as well. Pads, obviously, as we know, are brand new. The discs are okay. Again, no lip. Actually, there's no lip on either side of this one, which is quite surprising considering, unless those pads were just literally caught at the right time. But there's no scoring. I mean, you can see a tiny little bit there, but it's certainly nothing that warrants changing them, that's for sure. They're absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah, so it's all good. And in here again, it's, you know, I mean, it's a wet day anyway, but muddy again. I mean, this wasn't the side of the impact, but it's still very dirty in here, and we'll clean that up. Shock, again, you can't tell with a shock like this, of course. But we will have another look at that once it's back down its wheels. We'll have a look once we've cleaned it up and that. I don't think they're going to need doing. I'm not sure whether they're new or not. Don't know, it's difficult to tell. I mean, there's a little bit of rust around there, so it doesn't look new. But the bottom arms definitely do. This one doesn't look quite as new as the other one, but strangely enough, the bushes do look quite new. So whether someone has changed the bushes rather than the entire thing, which they might have done. They certainly might have done. But yeah, no, it all looks really good. All looks good. Funnily enough, I noticed this on the other side. I didn't film it. The end of the track rod there, the gator, that looks quite new as well. I'm wondering whether it's had new gators on there at some point. But yeah, no, it's all good. All good. Tyres are absolutely fine, inside and out. I say I'll clean those wheels up properly. Yeah, I want to have a go at those under those seals, even though you can't see this one. Pretty much, you can't see that from the outside at all. Can you really? You can't. But if you go underneath, you can feel it's sticking up. So I will have a go at that somehow. I'm not quite sure I'm going to do it yet, but as I say, I've seen YouTube videos where you're using your jack and you have something underneath your jack with a chain attached to it. And then as your jack pushes the car up, it's obviously the chain is supported underneath, and it then just pulls it down. That's all we need to do. So we can just figure out a system of doing that. I think the ones I've seen, they use in hot glue. So I might try that. Or the cold glue for that matter, but probably the hot glue actually. But I think that'll work. But yeah, it'd be interesting to try it actually. As I say, I've seen people on videos doing it, so I think I'll give it a bash. Okay, right, so what we're going to do now, get this wheel back on, and then we'll get the bumper off. What I did while I had the wheel off the other side, I undid that bolt. This is easier to do it when there's no wheels on, so I thought I might as well do that, and I'll do the same on this side. So I can undo that bolt, undo those screws, which weren't done up on the other side. That just makes it easier to get the bumper off. As the wheel's off, I might as well. So I'll just do that, put the wheel back on, and then we'll get the bumper off and have a look underneath. See what the damage is under there, if any. Fingers crossed there's none. Let's do it. Right, so I'll put the car just on the drive here. Doesn't need to be in the middle of the drive now. So I'm going to do the bumper now, take the bumper off. As I said earlier, I've taken the two bolts out in the wings whilst I had the wheels off because it just made life easier. I've got a new one out here, which I've ordered, which came yesterday. Well, as you can see, I haven't unpacked it yet, but that is a complete bumper, including the DRLs, all the trim, everything. And from the pictures, it looked in pretty much almost perfect condition. It was a bit pricey. I can't remember what it was now, but I'll stick the price up here because I can't remember off the top of my head. But it was quite a lot, but of course it includes all the trim and the lights, which have obviously got quite a lot of value in them. I mean, to buy a DRL, a decent DRL, you're talking of at least, normally, generally, 35, 40, even more than that, somewhere between 30 and 45 quid a DRL. You'd be lucky to get one for 30 quid, to be honest. Obviously all the trim is quite expensive. It's all here. I've already got it. There's no trim on this bumper apart, I think, from that, which has got a bit of a kink in it, which could be reused. I don't know what the state of the grill is, whether it's just been pushed out or whether it's broken or not, I don't know. But obviously everything on here I can recycle and use again. And yeah, that's it really. So what we need to do, get it off and have a look. My only concern is that that bar is damaged. I think it's deceptive at the minute where it's been pushed in, where the bumper's been pushed in, but as I said earlier, I think where it's been pushed in, that's probably missed it. So let's get the bolts undone, let's get it off, and then we can have a look underneath. It didn't miss the bar. The bar's done its job, of course. It's protected the radiator. It's protected everything. It's just got bent in that end. If we can show you. So the actual crash can hasn't gone. The crash can is fine, if you can see. Let me put a torch on it. We're losing the light, unfortunately. So the crash can's fine, but it's bent it here. So that needs replacing. So that'll cost me about 45 quid. They're really expensive these now, but everything else under here is spot on. Nothing damaged. No lugs damaged on the headlights. It was low, wasn't it? So I hadn't expected it to, because if any of these were damaged, then the top one would have gone as well. But yeah, it's just that. So that's good. Well, I say that's good. It's good that it's only that. Yeah, I wasn't expecting even that to be done, to be honest, but that is not the end of the world at all. So I am relatively pleased with that it's almost unscathed. Shame I haven't got one of those. So I had to buy one of those before, didn't I, on, was it Keris? Can't remember which car it was now. Well, I couldn't get that bumper on because it was damaged. Never mind, I'll just go and order another one. I'll go and order one now. But I'm first, actually, before I do that, I'm gonna open that new bumper up and sort of put it in place. I won't put it into the wings because I don't like to keep on and off with the wing brackets. I'd rather leave it out. Yeah, pleased with it so far. Right, it's a bit grubby this. I'll have to give it a clean up once I've got it on. But one of the DRLs, it's got no back cover on it. And the bulb's not in there, and that is really corroded. Now I've got loads of these. This is the full beam, not the DRL, but this is the full beam light. So, I mean, I could put a bulb in and see what it's like, but it's really corroded. So I think what I'll do is I'll cut that off, and I'll join one of the mini that I've got. And obviously I've got covers, I've got loads of the covers, so that's not a problem as such. I thought I was going to have to change the whole light, but before I obviously wire it all up, I'll make sure that's it's okay. But it looks all right. The rest of it looks all right. It just needs a bit of a clean up. There was a little bit of blue somewhere I saw when I was unwrapping it, but I think that's probably a bit of paint transference. That'll soon come off. I'm just going to give it a quick clean on the tops, and then we'll just put it into position, just to obviously protect the car from the weather, whilst I'll go and order one of those bars. So I'll be back in a minute, and we'll hang it and see how it looks, and then we can put the number plate on it as well. Woohoo! I'll give it a clean up first. Well, once it's on, I'll give it a good clean up. I just want to clean up those edges first before we go any further. So yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Right, I gave those a bit of a wipe over. As I said, I'm not gonna plug those in just yet, because obviously it's got to come off. Oh, it's got to come off. So I just want to make sure that it's. I think it's that bar that's stopping it, like it did before. Strangely, I think. What's going on here? Let me put a screw in it. It's not going under that. I think it is that again. It's that. Oh no, that's it. No, it's not. What's going on? Let me put one bolt. It's going in at an angle for some reason. Might be because that bar's bent. The other one wasn't in at an angle. Why is this one causing me grief? I don't know. I don't know. That's it. That's it. That's better. Right, let's just put one bolt in for a minute. There. That's alright. Just needs a clean. Yeah, I'll give it a clean now, actually. Something not right here. Yeah, that's really weird, because that wasn't the old bumper wasn't causing me grief getting it underneath that bar, but that one is. So whether that bar, maybe because the other bumper was bent up, it's not allowing it to go on properly, this one, because this is a straight one. See, obviously down there it was bent up and it's not going underneath properly. It seems to be not lined up for those. Yeah, I'm not gonna try and force it. I'll just leave it like that for the time being. Yeah, weird. But we know we struggled with this on that last car until I changed that bar. Right, it's on. Well, I say on. You know, we're not in at the ends, as I said. But that looks almost like a new bumper, doesn't it? Couple of little marks on it. I've cleaned it up. We had some parcel tape stuck. We have got a little bit of an issue here. That's broken a little bit, but I will fix that. Not a problem. And the only other thing is there is some blue paint transference down. Where's it gone? Just down here. And it's very, very light, a bit of paint transference there. Some very, very fine crack in there, but it's nothing much. I'm gonna get some G3 on here and down there and see if that will come off. There might be one or two tiny little bits to touch in, like that little tiny bit there. But you know, it's a second-hand bumper. I can't remember what year car this came off of. Can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it's good. It's a good. It's a very good bumper. It's one of the better ones I've had, to be fair. Right, I'm just running some tests on the car, Blue and Me, things like that, just to make sure everything's working as it should be. Obviously I haven't pressed the buttons. No fault codes on the ECU, which is always a bonus on the Blue and Me. Well, the reason for me logging onto this now, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to look on the body computer and see if I can, let's see if there's any errors first. I'm going to see if I can see when the last service was, or the last recorded service on the car anyway. Obviously if that's fairly recent, daylights, that's because, yeah, left or front side lights, that's because they're not on. Inertia switch is intermittent, so at some point the fuel cut-off switch has gone, so we'll clear that. Actually, you might as well clear them all. The other ones will come back anyway, because they're unplugged at the minute. Yeah, so what I want to do is I'm just going to go into the service and see if we can see service interval reset. I think it's under that. I think that's where it shows it. Let's have a look. Can't remember now. I haven't done this for a while. So it basically gives you a date of how many tokens like there are. Here we go. Distance after last service. Oh, 36,000 miles. 7th of the 10th, 2021. So that's probably, it's possible that was the last time it was serviced. Certainly the last time it was serviced by somebody who has, you know, electronically reset the service counter. How many services does it say it's had? 3. Probably, actually, distance till next service, what does that say? Another 10,000. Well, it's on 44,000 at the moment, so it was at 30 distance after last service. So that must mean what the mileage was when it was serviced rather than after last service, because obviously it hasn't done 36,000 miles since then, I don't think. I'll check that on the MOT history actually. So according to this, it doesn't need to service for another 10,000 miles, which is a bit odd. Or maybe that means at 46,000 it needs a service, which is actually 2,000 miles away from that. So if that's the case, it probably is, isn't it? Yeah. So it was last serviced at 36,000 miles in 2021, and it was 10,000 miles, although it says distance until next service. So does that mean from 36,000, or does it mean from what it is now? It must mean from 36,000, mustn't it? Although you would expect that, what does that say? 18,000. So 36, 46, 54,000. So no, that would mean its next service due is at 54,000. Well, that doesn't seem right, does it? Strange. Maybe that's a major service. So it's going to get a service anyway, but we'll make a note of that, and that will obviously go into the service book. And of course, we have still got to track down the service history of this, but we won't worry about it too much at the moment. I just wanted to have a look at that. So that is a good indication, or possible indication. If you've got no service book, you can have a look at that and see, give you an idea of when the car was last serviced, at least by somebody. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a main dealer, but you know, anyone that resets the service counter using a diagnostic computer of some sort, that should record it. Whether it's actually had, hopefully it's had more than 3 services in its life. As a 2014, I'd like to think so. It's 8 years old, so you'd like to think it's had more than 3, wouldn't you? But who knows? Who knows? Anyway, that's that. Right, cold day, but seats got to be cleaned, so I'm not taking the seats out. As usual, what I'll do, especially as this one's so filthy, due to those brake pads being on the back seat, I'll take the pad out, clean that, and then put that indoors. The rest of it can stay in. But yeah, all hoovered, all nice and clean on the carpets. Just a matter of getting these seats cleaned. They're going to take a while to dry, but what I said, what I'll do is I'll once it's all done, I'll get the engine running and just leave it running. It's got plenty of petrol in it. I'll just leave it running when the heater's blowing full blast, and it will just help to dry it off a bit. Okay, let's get on and get these cleaned. That's done. I've got the engine running with the heater on full blast to try and dry it off a bit. As you can see, nice and clean now. Still obviously soaking wet. I don't know what all this is. I don't know if you noticed this on the time lapse. There's something, my camera's steaming the camera up now. Something blue, I don't know what all that is. I saw some of that in the boot. Oh, my lens is steamed up. Very steamy in there. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Oh, it's actually killed my back. I don't know what I've had this recurring problem with my back, my lower back, for probably 15 years or more. and every now and again when I've done something like this, it normally hurts, but it was killing me doing it. And I think what I did, I moved this cupboard yesterday. I've put my compressor up the other end of the garage, and I moved this cupboard, which was full, to here, and carried it through the garage, and it is quite heavy, and I think it's done me back in again. So I haven't pulled anything, it's just like a really horrible pain. I've taken some ibuprofens anyway, so hopefully that'll get a shot of it. Anyway, enough of my moans and groans, you don't want to know about that. Yeah, so, right, I've done that, so let's have a look at the water, actually. Oh, my back. Oh, it's very frothy, this water. Oh, God, look at it. Black. Absolutely black. Horrible. Look at all over my hands now. So I think what we're going to do, I'm going to leave the engine running. I think I'm going to have a go at these dents. I think we'll have a go at the door ones first. We'll use the cold glue. Oh, I've got it all over my face as well now. We'll do those, see if we can get those door ones done first. They should come out pretty easy, I think, hopefully. And then we'll have a go at this one. As I mentioned, I put a little message on the bottom of the screen on the walk around video, just saying that I can't push that out from the other side because this is a double skin, so I can't get behind it. How do I know that? It's because I saw someone else on YouTube actually replace this piece. It was dented, and actually cut it out and put a new piece in, which seemed a bit over the top. And it is I suppose that's a strong part of the car, isn't it? So this is just a normal piece of steel. Underneath it would be the boron steel or whatever it is, but this bit hopefully is just an ordinary piece of steel, and that will come out. I think it will. If it doesn't, and I think, as I mentioned before, if it doesn't come out using a pulling method, I may have to take all the paint off and weld some things to it, and then I've obviously got to have to be some filler and some paint, which I don't really want to have to do for something like that. But yeah, it certainly ain't going to a body shop. I will be doing that one way or the other. Even if it means having to fill it, put some filler on it, I will be doing that. I can do that. I'm quite getting more confident in doing stuff like that now, but yeah, we'll do the door dents first. So I'm just going to make myself a cup of coffee, and then we'll get on with it. And obviously empty that water out, put all that away. Let's do it. Right. Okay, so I'm going to give it a go, getting this out. Should be easy. You can barely see it. Hopefully you can see it. Let me just check. So that's the crown of it at the top there. So it's sort of, it's not much actually, so I don't think it will take much. It might even pull out with a sucker. Let's try it. Oh, my back is hurting me. Got a couple of these sucker things, which are probably, to be fair, a bit big, but we'll give it a go. I might actually warm it up first. That might be better because it is cold day, coldish. You know what it almost has. Still see the crown. The actual dent's gone. It's just got the crown. Where's my hammer? If I had a hammer. Almost gone. It's gone, I think. I can just about barely see it. Barely see it. I bought these on AliExpress. They were like a couple of quid. Actually, I don't think they were that much. I don't use them much because they're not particularly very effective, but on something like this, which is barely there, you can just about feel it. Maybe I'll just use the cold glue and give it a pull and see what happens. But it has pulled it out quite a bit. There's not really much of anything to pull out, to be fair. Ah! Oh, just caught me. Oh, I just caught that bit of skin there in the puller. Oh my God, that hurt. Oh. Oh, that should go in my bloopers file, really. Oh, that really hurt. I suppose I shouldn't be doing this sitting down. Someone get the accident book out. Oh, that really hurt. Oh, pain. Suck it up, Paul. I'm going to stand up and do it this time. Stupid boy. Right, push that on. It's gone. That has gone. You can see a little bit of the black stuff where it's stuck. Yeah, there's nothing. Just, oh, maybe a tiny bit. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Yeah. Don't know this. You can just about see a crown on it. I need to tap that down a little bit more. I'll be back in a sec. Right, that one's done. I can sort of just about see it, but I don't know. Might need a little bit more tapping down with a hammer, but this one is here. Again, we're going to use the cold glue. Not sure whether, because this is relatively sharp, this one, I'm not sure whether I've got the right bit on here or not. I keep calling it a bit, it's not a drill. Maybe I should warm it up. Warm the panel up. I think I will. Let's give it an initial go. Let's try not to catch my fingers in it. Oh, that really hurts. It's bruising, that is. Oh. No, actually, it is coming out with this one. But it's almost gone. This is fantastic stuff, this cold glue. Stops a lot of messing around that you have to do with the hot glue. Almost. I hope this is as accessible on the top bit. Yep, that's it, it's gone. Oh, hang on, no, it's just about. I need to get one of those little cards with a light. Because as you move your head about, you can see it. I think that's as near as pretty. Yeah, that's pretty much gone now. Pretty much gone. One more little go. If it is there, it's very minuscule. We'll clean that stuff off afterwards. But yeah, no, that's done. That's fine. Right, I'm not actually sure where the best place to put camera is. This is quite a big dent, so I'm actually going to use a bigger head to start with. So we're going to get a bit more of the cold glue and see how it goes. Again, I should really warm this area up. In fact, I'm going to before I start. I'm going to warm it up a bit with a heat gun. Just grab a nice big chunk of this, whack it on this head. So I've got a blob like that. I think they're probably not quite big enough. I'll take a bit off of the other one. In fact, I might use the other one as well. Use a bigger piece. So I've got a nice big wodge on there, and then we need to take out that head and put the bigger head in, and then use this cable tie to hold it in so it doesn't fall on the floor when it comes off. Right, let's give it a go, shall we? Fingers crossed. I'm going to zoom you in. I'm not sure you can actually see this. I'm going to try and zoom you in a little bit. So you probably can't, but the dent is there. Okay. Push that on. Yeah, it's coming out nicely. Yep, great stuff. In fact, did you hear it pop then? Yeah, it's coming out nice. So it's creating a bit of a crown in the middle. Oh, I was going to heat it up, wasn't I? Let's do one more go. It is working. Right, I'm just going to get the heat gun. I'm just going to get the heat gun out and warm it up a bit, and then we'll come back. Heated that up. What I probably will have to do is put some smaller ones on, because it's pulled out the one in the middle, and you've got smaller ones sort of at the side. There's another one there, and one where I've got the hammer now. Yeah, it's coming out a treat. I'm going to swap them over though and put a smaller one on. Okay, I'm still waiting for the bottom bar to come, which I think is going to come today, but this video is getting a little bit on the long side now. So I'm just going to show you the seats. They're not quite dry yet, but they're getting there. I'm going to start running the engine again today and try and get them to dry off. You can just see in the shot there, Project Glamorous Katie. So I'm going to be working on her today and try and get her finished. But yeah, so let me just show you the seats and then we'll sign off. So I had the windows slightly open, literally the last couple of days. So a couple of days have passed since I did this. Now I'm not sure whether that's still grubby or whether it's just because it's not dry properly. Maybe a bit of both. But that was exceptionally grubby, that one. So I may have to go over that one again. This one seems okay, but that one just seems a little bit darker in some places. So it may, as I say, it may well be just because it's not dry properly. That was drying in my conservatory, so that's nice and dry. The seat backs are relatively dry, so that's all back together, and the boot mat is back in there nice and clean. I've ordered some more mats. I'll get through these mats like they're going out of fashion. In fact, I have linked to them before, but if you're doing cars and selling them, they're a good budget. They're £7 a pack. They're British made. They're on Amazon. I think they're £7 a pair. I tend to buy two at a time. 2 sets at a time, so you get obviously two rears, 2 fronts. They're not made for a Fiat 500, they're just a generic one, but I used to buy cheap ones from Wilco, which at the time was £6, which I think are £9, and they were really cheap and cheerful. These are a fairly decent quality, I have to say, for £7. They're a bargain. But so I will put a link to them in the description. But yeah, we're getting there. Almost there, and we're not far off. So I continued with this. I tried to use my hot glue gun on it. You can see it more because the main part of it's come out. So we've basically got a dent there, a little one there, and then a little one there. I've got the main bulk of it out. So, or you can see it better at that angle. There you go, look. You can see it. That's the biggest one that I've still got to get out. Now I wasn't having much luck with the cold glue. I don't know why. All of a sudden, I don't know if it's because of the weather, maybe it's too cold for it. So I started to use my hot glue gun, but I couldn't find, I've got this starter thing up here, you know, the old battery starter thing, which was out of power, and I can't for the life of me find the charger for it. So I've got to get a new charger for it. And strangely enough, the cigarette lighter socket thing that I had doesn't fit in here, it's all floppy. Don't know why that is. So I've ordered a hot glue gun, a new hot glue gun from Amazon, a mains powered one. So when I get that, I'm going to have another go at that with a hot glue gun, see what I can do with it. We'll get it done one way or the other. Hopefully the hot glue will do it. So yeah, so once the bars come, we can get this done, get that back on, that'll be that done. It's clean inside. It should then, apart from that dent, there shouldn't be much more to do. It's going to need an MOT. No, it's not going to need an MOT because it's MOT till July next year. And it's only a Cat N, so I won't be MOT in this one. Yeah, all good. It's potentially only going to be one more video for this car, potentially. It depends on, you know, whether I film lots of me doing in real time, doing the dent and what have you, which I may do some of it. But that's what's made this video a little bit long, because I was doing that in real time, because I know some of you do like to see more in real time. So I am going to end this video here, and then you'll see it on the next one. As I say, hopefully that will be the last one. So as always, if you're not a subscriber, hit on the button, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and until the next one, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.